Put his body on the line. Stringer puts it back to Podsiadly. Playing in front, chest mark in the rain.
You can see the clearances, they haven't been smashed. 51-44 Melbourne, they've been competitive. Certainly total possessions, they're not far behind. There's a pretty damning statistic, use of the footy going forward, plus the targets they're actually kicking to 11-1 the marks inside 50.
Just the one goal so far this afternoon for James Podsiadly. As I mentioned earlier, just one goal, and one goal the last 3 games he's played. It'll be 2 at least this afternoon, and it's back to a 60-point margin. David King, have you reassessed your team for September for the Cats?
Always having a look, Dwayne, and I think there are a couple of points of interest to the ruck situation at the moment. Vardy we've got as a possibility there to come in, but Dawson Simpson's played some really good football in the last couple of weeks. Blixarves can play there. We've also got some other options in the wings, but Murdoch, Rivers, does he come into this side, and that whole host of senior core and youngsters on the pine there? I mean, Joel Core is a fascinating discussion. Does he come in? Does Josh Hunt hold his spot down back? Taylor Hunt's going to play as a tagger, we know. So I think West, Simpson, Vardy, that ruck spot, and Blixarves is the talking point at the moment.
All right, well, Stevie Johnson just waltzes through the centre again. Another clearance. What a day he's had. Duncan. And Shannon Burns takes it to the boundary line. And if anything, it's getting wetter. Not just the surface, but it's actually raining heavier, probably the heaviest it's been all day. Is that a fair call, Kingy? I can't quite tell.
It's a fair call.
I've rubbed it in enough, I think. So 4 minutes left on the clock. It's a 10-goal victory. And a nice little percentage boost for Geelong in the wet. As I said a little bit earlier, the most important thing now in this last 4 minutes and 11 seconds is for the Cats to get off the ground without any injuries.
Absolutely, and the Demons to keep their composure and head into the last few weeks of this season and try and make something of 2013 as well. It won't be the 31-goal margin for Melbourne that it was here 2 years ago, when it all started to unravel quickly for the Demons. Stephen Johnson, Murdoch off hands, blasts away, had more time.
He did, he would normally pencil that in.
1 goal 7 in the last quarter for Geelong here, so Melbourne a little bit lucky to kick inaccurately. 12-19 in fact for the whole day.
And Jace, they don't bend those ones around the body, do they, with the wet ball?
Not as much. Very heavy pill, and you could see it's a traditional around the corner kick, but it didn't move much at all.
Down towards Garland, tough ball to mark. Nicholson sees it to the boundary. So James Frawley, who appeared to have a hamstring problem, in fact he was subbed out last week with a hamstring injury, has got through the game as well. So it's good news for Melbourne. They took a little risk perhaps playing him this afternoon, but with Hawkins and Podsiadly playing forward, they desperately needed him.
And cold, wet conditions, you're certainly going to test the string out. So he's had a great battle with Tom Hawkins. 6 possessions for Hawkins, 2 goals. Very tough for forward, so certainly the conditions favour the backman, but he's been good for all it.
Well, one of those goals was the Trengove miss kick early in the game.
Johnson again gets the clearance. Here's Podsiadly for the skip and run. He kicks it to the square, and he's almost got to hit the post.
He liked the look of it in the air.
Yeah. So 2 goals 2 for the Pods. Tompers takes a mark. Defensive 30.
He's up to 20 disposals, Jimmy Tompers, so having a good game.
And the ball over the line out of bounds. So the Cats next for Adelaide in Adelaide. St Kilda here at Simmons Stadium. North Melbourne at Etihad, and Port Adelaide. So
hard to tip against them in any of those, Ed.
They've got the 4 there, you'd think.
They're in the start of a run of 5 of their last 8 games here at Simmons Stadium. The hardest of their run home is against the Sydney Swans. And that's a game here as well. A roller inside 50. Caddy tried to pick and go. Hawkins tried to toe off the deck, still trying to toe off the deck. And they'll win a ball in. He's had some back problems recent times, Tom Hawkins. There was talk he might not play this afternoon. He's going to play the full complement.
Got the 50 differential in the inside 50s now.
Okay, there it is again.
Equal record at the moment.
Selwood couldn't quite. Nicholson Caught by Murdoch, dispossessed. Smeds. Motlop strips McDonald, holds him up, flicks it to the back. Burns under some pressure. Nathan Jones finds some space where there was none. Blees.
Good spiral.
Lonergan should grab it. Just floats over his head. Tough ball to peel back onto. Kept it alive initially, little back heel, and Guthrie takes it over the line with 2 minutes left.
Okay, so we'll have a look at the live ladder. So Geelong jump up and a good percentage boost today. 132.3. The Cats started with 127.9. So up they go into second spot. 15 wins. The Hawks winning today with 142.0. And Port Adelaide at the other end, dropping down to 8th spot. So we'll have a throw in, and just for the statistically minded, we've got the 50 differential, which is the equal greatest differential of inside 50s. And at 18 inside 50, Melbourne currently have got the lowest inside 50
Wait.
lowest inside 50 count, which is 20. So they've got to go inside 3 times. And Varco won't let them. With a minute 41. There's one off the ground, so we're up to 19. They need 2 more. Bartel kicks it out. So 62 points of difference. And here's a chance now for Grimes, the captain of Melbourne, the co-captain, to get it in.
Just bomb it.
To the edge of the 50. Off hands, no! Hunt gets it out to Simpson and clears. A minute 15 on the clock.
Geelong need one to get the 50 back now as well.
Well, if they can get the 50 back, that's the differential. We've got a minute left. Oh, what a nail-biter.
Come on, Dees. You don't want the all-time lowest inside 50s.
Is there a record rainfall during a game as well? That'd have to be close to the coldest day.
No, I think we're a fair way off that one. And there is the differential back to 50, and Melbourne under 20, which means it's the double record for inside 50s, going the wrong way for the D's at the moment. 43 seconds to go. Off hands, Stevie Johnson, the party trick, just to end the day on a high note. He's got his goal. Little skip in the air as well. And a skip in his step for this magician, this superstar of the game. It's a pleasure to come and watch him.
Might have the 3 Brownlow votes as well.
He nearly took the legs out there, Turlick, when he slid in, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
But in the wet weather, I guess you've got to allow a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more leeway. A nice little celebration here. Raised the right hand, then the left.
Yep.
Look at that.
He loves Melbourne too. He got the 3 Brownlow votes against them here last year. He just carves them up every time. 37 possessions, although kicking at 18%.
14 clearances.
Well, that's a lot, isn't it?
It's the biggest
7 tackles.
It's the biggest margin of the game right now. 68 points. They're not done yet. Steve Johnson might send them inside 50 again. There it is. Podsiadly pumps them in. It will be the biggest differential of all time. Down to 15 seconds. The flick back. Still a chance at a late score. Murdoch. Hawkins. Caddy. To the hot spot. Smeds caught behind. Dragged down. Didn't have it. Siren sounds. And in some ways the Cats rose above the occasion. Tough conditions. Rained all afternoon. But they were mentally on. They said pre-game they were going to try and hold Melbourne to a low score. They kept them to just 4 goals and kicked 13 themselves. Could have been 20 goals, 13 for the Cats. It ended up being 13 goals, 20, 98 to 4, 6, 30 at the